So Ted Cruz decided to go after AOC, and man, he can't help himself. I went to his Twitter feed the other day, and it was just like a horror show. Like every single bullshit right-wing fake scandal du jour he's on top of. Still to this day has no criticisms of MAGA, no criticisms of the right. Everything is just like low IQ, anti-Democrat slop. Really, truly one of the most wretched and vile and repulsive people in American politics. So look at this from The Hill. Cruz calls Ocasio-Cortez parasite sucking on the taxpayer over billionaire remarks. So AOC came out and basically said something which everybody with a functioning brain knows is true, that nobody ever really earns $1 billion. That's not a thing. Nobody earns $1 billion. Nobody deserves $1 billion. That's insane. To say that is to say that market value is what matters and human value doesn't matter. Well, guess what? Market value and human value are not the fucking same thing. And unfortunately, we base people's worth on market value, and that's how we have such a fucked up society where you have hundreds of thousands of homeless people at the same time Elon Musk is about to become a fucking trillionaire. So AOC made the obviously correct point that nobody is worth or earns $1 billion. That's insane to say that, when other people are working 2 or 3 jobs and can't even pay the fucking bills. It's disgusting, right? Well, guess what? Ted Cruz fired back. Senator Ted Cruz on Monday called progressive firebrand Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez a parasite sucking on the taxpayer after she claimed that Americans can't earn to become billionaires. Quote, I recognize for her, given that she was a bartender, that is probably true, and there is no disrespect to bartenders. I should actually be doing this in the Ted Cruz voice. Bartenders are an honorable profession, but she went from that to being a government employee and a parasite sucking on the taxpayer. Hey, asshole, that means you're a parasite sucking on the taxpayer as well. So again, he says, I recognize for her, given that she was a bartender, I'm Ted Cruz, me. That is probably true. No disrespect to bartenders, but she's a parasite sucking on the taxpayer. I like how he does that. He's like, I'm going to disrespect bartenders. But then I'll also go on and say, but no disrespect to bartenders. No, you did the disrespect thing. Like, what he's saying is, well, of course you couldn't be worth $1 billion. All you did was bartend, please. Again, the disdain, the seething disdain and hatred for working people. And then again, to call her a parasite sucking on the taxpayer when, motherfucker, you've been in government longer than she has. So you would be a bigger parasite by your own fucking logic, you dipshit. Oh my God, I cannot stand this guy. This gelatinous weasel, okay? So Midas Touch was able to get a hold of AOC when she was walking out of Congress, and they asked her about it, and here's her reaction.
Congressman, real quick, I'm sorry to ask you about this, but Ted Cruz called you a parasite and disparaged your work as a bartender.
Yeah.
Any response to this junior senator from Texas?
I mean, listen, there's no, it's not a secret, the disdain that Ted Cruz has for people who work working class jobs. It's not a secret that, what he thinks of the waitresses, the line cooks. He thinks that we're less than him. He thinks that because he has a Harvard degree and never scrubbed a table, that makes him better than someone who's actually had to work for a living. And I think it's funny that he's been taking a government paycheck for 23 years, but has the audacity to criticize someone who has come from a family that had to work their way up and earn their place here. And, if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. I don't take it personally. I'm okay with it.
Get his ass. It is incredible to me that all she did was state the most obvious thing that 80, 90% of Americans would agree with. That nobody actually earns $1 billion. Nobody deserves $1 billion. And he immediately rushes in to be the billionaire protection brigade. Okay? Now understand something. He's doing this at the same time that we know, as a matter of fact, the bottom 80% of Americans only hold 7% of the wealth. Income and wealth inequality is worse than the Gilded Age in this moment, okay? They should be thankful people aren't rolling out the guillotines as we speak. There was a RAND study that said that the top 1% stole $80 trillion from the bottom 90% since the year 1974. Now, Ted Cruz doesn't talk about that. Ted Cruz doesn't care about that. Ted Cruz doesn't want to do anything to fix that wretched state of affairs, and instead, he's rushing out there to protect the billionaires no matter what, okay? In fact, if we had the same wealth disparity that we had just in 1974, then every single American would have an extra $1,144 per month. Do you understand that? That the amount of money the 1% has stolen from everybody has basically amounted to an extra $1,200 per month every month that you would get for the rest of your life if they didn't rig the system. Okay? It's insane. Meanwhile, the bottom 50% only control 2.6% of the wealth. The bottom 50%, half this country basically has fucking nothing. They have nothing. As Elon Musk is about to become a goddamn trillionaire, and you have some billionaires with multiple yachts, it would be nothing for these people to get a 17th home. Does that make sense to you? Is that reasonable to you? And then, by the way, of these billionaires, to AOC's point, about 60% of them already come from extreme privilege. So it's not like, oh, the harder you work, the further you go. It's not like that at all. In fact, it quite literally is like you were born on third base and thought you would a triple. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Look at Donald Trump. Look at Donald Trump. Trump likes to say, oh, my dad gave me a small loan of $1 million. Well, first of all, that is not a fucking small loan. Second of all, he's lying about how much money he got from his parents. He got hundreds of millions from his parents. So here's a guy who he couldn't fail in life. And he has gone bankrupt 6 different times. Didn't matter, right? Like, when you become part of that Epstein class and you're part of the elite, they do anything and everything they can to hold on to that power and to crush working class people, okay? That's what everybody needs to understand. Now, meanwhile, during the Trump era, we live in a world where the richest 400 people have an effective tax rate of 23%. And the bottom 50% of people pay 24% in taxes. So that means the poorest people pay a higher effective tax rate than the billionaires. That's a regressive tax system. That's insane. It should be the opposite. It should be billionaires pay a much higher tax rate and working class people pay much less because they can't afford to pay a high tax rate. They're the poorest people in the country. But the billionaires who have everything, somehow they get away with paying less in taxes. It is grotesque. Grotesque is the only word to describe it. And so all I would say to Ted Cruz is, go ahead, son, keep going. I know Ted Cruz is naive enough to think he's going to make a splash and maybe, win the presidency. I got news for you. Your ideology is so dead. It's so gone. It's so stupid. At least Trump was smart enough in 2016 to pretend like he's for the little guy, right? Pretend like he's not going to outsource your job. Pretend like he's not going to wage the wars. Trump was smart enough to lie to people. Ted Cruz is so fucking stupid. He goes, I'm going to defend the billionaires because the billionaires are the best of us and they're special and they're amazing. No, you asshole. The same way that you smear trans people all day and black people all day and immigrants all day, the left should be smearing billionaires because billionaires are actually the problem, whereas trans people are not, and immigrants are not, and black people are not, and Muslims are not, and Jews are not. I don't want to hear this is what they do. It's the oldest trick in the book. Divide and conquer. Go after the minority groups, scapegoat them, get people to blame them for all their problems when the real cause of your problems are the billionaires, the fascists, and the warmongers. All three of them, Ted Cruz's favorite. Okay? He is a fascist. He is a warmonger. The only thing he isn't is a billionaire, but boy, oh boy, does he suck off that Epstein class and all the billionaires like nobody's business, bro. Like nobody's business. So go ahead, Ted. Keep defending the honor of the billionaires, and let me know how that works out for you. All right, y'all, that's the show. I love y'all very much. You guys know the drill. Everybody do me a big favor. Subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you nothing. You can also click that bell icon so you get a notification every time a video drops. You can also support the show on Patreon. We're very thankful for those of you who do that. Remember, there's a real independent media, so you guys supporting the show makes a big difference. You can also sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. Ashley St. Clair this week, y'all. You don't want to miss it. It's incredible. You don't want to miss it. We're going to get all the scalding hot MAGA tea. And then also go sub to Corin's World, and we do live shows over there every Monday night at 8:30. You can come hang out with us. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.